Is tanking starting to ruin the integrity of the NBA? All right, now before I get too deep in the video, I want to say a couple of things. First thing is, make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bro. You watched the whole video, you enjoyed the whole video. Why would you not leave a like? And if you like this whole video, you're gonna like my other videos talking about basketball, talking about football, talking about college basketball, all types of stuff. So go ahead and leave a like, go ahead and subscribe, and let's get back to the video. Now, before I get started with the video, I want to say, I really want to say, tanking is such an interesting concept, right? Like the idea of your team being bad and you being aware that your team is bad, but y'all are like kind of good in some ways. Like, for example, the Washington Wizards, bro. We are horrible. Like, we are not a good team at all, but we're not as bad as our record suggests. Like, if Keyshawn George and all the guys who are able to play, Trey Johnson, all the guys who are able to play for this team, we would be pretty decent. Like, we would probably be not in contention for number one pick, but because we know we're not like contender level, we're just going to be really bad. I mean, that's all. That's all tanking is, right? Your team is like, okay, but y'all are trying to be really bad because you know you're not really good. You know you're not a contender, so you're just trying to be really bad. And every year I feel like we have a tanking conversation, and it starts to ramp up, but now it's getting kind of crazy. A couple nights ago, we have this situation. The Utah Jazz were up by 17 towards the end of the third quarter versus the Orlando Magic. Lauri was balling, Jaren Jackson was hooping, Yusuf Nurkic was hooping. Then they got benched the entire fourth quarter, and the Magic came back and won the game. And this isn't the only thing. The Washington Wizards had the same situation versus the Nets a couple games ago, where Keyshawn didn't play, Trey Johnson was out, Bub was out. A lot of our main guys who honestly would have made the game against the Nets a pretty competitive game were out. They didn't play at all, and we ended up losing the game. I think we tried to tank versus the Kings, but because the Kings are like so bad, it literally did not work out for us. And naturally, like this is what I'm saying, caused a lot of uproar because you have teams like the Kings who I don't even know if the Kings are tanking. I think the Kings are really I don't think the Kings are just ass, right? Like the Kings have been losing a bunch of games. Even though I think they're just ass, it is kind of an issue, right? Like a lot of people are coming out and announcing like, hey, like we don't really rock with this whole tanking thing. Like this is kind of a concern. And of course, fans are going to complain. Like I said, I feel like every year this happens where fans are complaining about tanking because nobody wants to see uncompetitive basketball. Nobody wants to see somebody be bad on purpose. It kind of It kind of removes like the integrity of the game. Like now, I got to question the way you coming. But I saw an interesting tweet, right? And it's this right here, kind of the origin of tanking, if you will. Since Greg Popovich went all in on tanking in 1997 and drafted Tim Duncan, multiple teams have tanked every single season since. The Sixers created a whole marketing campaign about it, trust the process. The Spurs have had top three players from the last three drafts on their team. The Wizards traded for Trae Young, who was playing, and on an hour-long parade wire from ATL to Washington, he developed a season-ending injury, quote, I'm going to add quotes there. Dallas is holding off until Kyrie's return to next season. The Jazz have actually been playing their guys. Lauri had hardly missed any games this season to recently when he legitimately had a few. Yes, they made a few more games. The Jazz doing the exact same things. 50-plus teams have done it beforehand. And all that came from this tweet, like, complaining about the Jazz. So here's the thing. I want to dispel some things. Like, Trae Young, could he have played this season? For surely. I'm not going to deny the fact that Trae Young could have played this season, but I don't think the entire reason he's not playing is because of the fact that he is like we're trying to tank. I don't think that's the complete reason. I think he is kind of injured. It was even evident in some of the games he did play that he just wasn't all the way 100%, and we just want Trae to be 100% because next year, it's gonna be Trae, hopefully AD, Keyshawn, whoever our pick is, Trey Johnson, and we running. And if you ain't on, if you're not getting right, you're going to get your ass left. I think that has more so to do with that, you know what I'm saying? But I understand where he's coming from. Kyrie tore his ACL and said he's not coming back until he feels like it. I don't think Dallas is telling Kyrie to stay at home. I think Kyrie is like, I'm going to stay at home until I feel like I am ready to go out there and play. The Jazz, man, hey man, they are tanking, and this is the thing that kind of brings the discussion on, is tanking an issue, or how big of an issue is it in the NBA, and how can you resolve it? I saw Richard Jefferson. He had some like fix, like solution for tanking. I don't really know what a legit solution for tanking looks like, honestly and truthfully. I don't all the way think tanking is bad, even when it's blatant, even all of these things. I'm not the biggest. I can't say I'm the biggest detractor of tanking. I'm not the biggest critic of it, because I mean, shoot, if I'm building a team, my mindset around building a team is, hey, if we're not going to be really good, then we need to be really bad. We need to be really bad, because eventually we want to be really good. We want to be mentioned in the names of the Detroit Pistons, the OKC Thunders, the Houston Rockets, the Denver Nuggets. That's where we want to mention, our name. That's where we want our name to be mentioned in. But right now, we more so like on the Kings level, the Pelicans level. Like, we're just not a good team. That's kind of how I would view a rebuild if I was over a team. Now, who the hell hired me as a GM? I don't know. But still, that's all I'm saying. Which is why I understand tanking. I'm not all the way against it. But I do think, like, it is kind of unethical when, like, you clearly have the ability to kind of win games and you're just choosing not to. Like, you have players who can kind of, play for you and, like, provide. Like, the Jazz, I'm not going to lie, that is kind of, like, this is kind of crazy from the Jazz, bro. Like, you play your guys. Oh, let me pull it up. Like, you play your guys the entire game, and they is hooping, bro. Y'all are up 17. Y'all are hooping. And you bench all of them. You bench all of them for the entire fourth quarter, bro. And this is probably what's going to be like for the rest of the season. I doubt Jaren plays any meaningful basketball for Utah. But, I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm not going to lie. This is kind of crazy. And there is a problem with that, but it's like, how do you fix it, right? They've already adjusted the odds. I mean, I don't really know any type of fix you can do for it. At this point, I really don't. Like, if teams want to lose, I mean, of course the NBA could, like, bring something to the table and be like, hey, like, this is how we're going to fix tanking. Sure, if they do, we'll see what it is and we'll analyze it then. But until then, bro, I don't really see anything. Next thing we want to talk about is none other than Joel Embiid. Listen, can we give Joel Embiid a hand clap? Can we clap it up for Joel Embiid? For him to be performing like this, I think he's played some games since then. This tweet was, when what was this tweet? February 8th? Yeah, this was Sunday. But for him, over his last 7 games up to February 8th, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 53% from the field, 51% from 3, 85% from free throw line. I'm round up for you on 35 minutes per game. Listen, bump the stats. 35 minutes per game for Joel Embiid after whatever the hell they had to do to his knee over the offseason is impressive. Especially when there were people like me who were calling for Joel to medically retire. And now he's hooping. And now the 76ers look like they might be able to make a push for a play-in or a playoff spot this season, which is something I don't think any of us were expecting for them to be able to do this season. But they might do it, man. The 76ers, they might just do it. And if they are able to do it, if they are able to make the playoffs in a season like this, I have to commend them, bro. I have to commend them for it. Like, that is extremely impressive. Hopefully, Joel can keep hooping. We'll see what the loss, quote unquote, of Jared McCain does for this team, because honestly and truthfully, Jared McCain was a sacrificial lamb for this team. It's unfortunate, but he just really didn't fit into the grand scheme of what they had going on over in Philly anymore. VJ Edgecombe kind of comes in, scoops him out. Tyrese Maxey, same thing. I mean, well, not that he was going to outperform Tyrese Maxey, but, Tyrese Maxey is his own guy, so VJ kind of became that guy next to Tyrese Maxey. Kind of a better fit as well. He's better defensively for that backcourt that is going to be pretty undersized. He fits, kind of complements Tyrese as well, especially as Tyrese is emerging into the superstardom, if you will. So we'll just have to see what the 76ers look like, bro. But Joel Embiid being able to hoop like this, with everything he's been through, all the procedures, everything, is extremely impressive. Next thing, we had some trades. I already talked about Jaren a little bit. Jaren has been hooping so far. Vooch on the Celtics, I am very curious of what he looks like past this season. I think the Celtics are bringing him back on like a team-friendly deal. It just seems like the place for him to be at. But I don't really know. The biggest thing I want to talk about is how great these two guys have been. Last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers played the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets is a solid team. Nikola Jokic. I mean, we already know who they have. And look at the stat line these boys put up, bro. 2 double-doubles. James Harden hit a very clutch shot down the stretch of the game as well. And they were able to beat the Denver Nuggets. It was like 119 to 117. And this is what you bring in a James Harden for, right? You kind of relieve the pressure off of Donovan Mitchell when you have a guy like James Harden. James Harden, and you do the same with James Harden. Like, before coming to the Cavaliers, I think one of the first things he said was like, everywhere I've had to go, I've had to be a system. In Brooklyn, like, I remember that time when KD was out, or it was Kyrie, one of these guys, one of them, or both of them who was not playing. KD, I mean, Brooklyn, he was the system. Houston, he was the system. Not in OKC, obviously, but with the Clippers, he was the system. Am I missing a team? The Sixers, he had became like a significant part. He's still going to be a significant part of the Cleveland Cavaliers, but when you have a Donovan Mitchell who has literally been willing the Cavs to wins this year, like literally being like, yo, y'all just get on my back. Like, y'all get on my back, and we just going to ride this thing out. I'm sure that's a relief for James Harden. James Harden only has to put up 22, 10, and 7. Like, I'm sure he is very happy with that. And Donovan Mitchell can still ball out, but he also doesn't have the same amount of offensive pressure on him and weight as he usually does. He has a legitimate offensive threat next to him in James Harden, and I'm sure he's happy at some of the new looks that he is going to get. And this will definitely benefit them down the line. Now, my fear is, you know what I'm saying? Like, these stats look all cool. You know what I'm saying? This is a cool picture, everything. Does this type of play continue for James Harden throughout the rest of the season and even into the playoffs? Because one thing James Harden is notorious for, is playing really well in like the first 10, 15 games with a new team and then just like going back to regular James Harden, which regular James Harden is still a good-ass player, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same. He's not on top of the world. He's not balling the same, giving the same type of effort. So I'm very curious, is that what we end up seeing from a James Harden? Like, does he just go back to normal? You know what I'm saying? How's that looking in the playoffs? These are like regular things you are going to worry about regardless, right, with this team. I don't know, but for me, that's just the main thing I'm worried about with James Harden. These performances, they're cool to watch. They're very nice to watch. And I'm very glad Donovan Mitchell has somebody next to him that is a legitimate threat. But what does that look like in the future? We can only wait and see. But last night, one of the biggest matchups, one of the biggest stories was this right here. It was this right here, bro. Isaiah Stewart. Now, how do we get here? There's a video floating around that I might be able to find of how this whole thing started between the two, right? It was kind of like insane, but all it made me want was I want some more basketball between the Thunder. I mean, not the Thunder, between the Pistons and the Hornets now, bro. I want some more basketball between. Oh, here it is. Okay, boom, boom, boom. We're gonna be messy, y'all. We're finna be messy. So, how does it start, right? Jalen Duren. Let me turn that off. Jalen Duren gets fouled. Musa Diabate, he fouls him. Regular little foul. Like, it's nothing crazy. And I don't know what happened in between this foul or, like, how he felt about this. I mean, I could kind of see, right? Like, it was a regular little back down. Like, Jalen is just bigger than him. And I guess he felt some type of way about him trying to back him down. So then he just headbutts him. And now he's just going at him. But he's really the only guy who's really, like, feeling some type of way. And he's, like, running after Jalen. I don't know why I keep on saying Jalen. Jaren. But he's, like, sprinting after him. He clearly has, like, a huge issue with him. I don't know if it was something that he said, whatever he did. He clearly had a huge issue with him. So this whole thing is breaking out. Then you finally kind of diffuse a little bit. Now look at Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges then comes at Jalen Duren. And then out of nowhere, from the top rope, none other than Isaiah Stewart comes over to defend his boy, bro. He comes over to defend his boy, and what was really just what started between Duren and Musa turned into like Miles Bridges and Isaiah Stewart, two dudes who had nothing to do with this at first. Now, I'm very curious as to what like occurred in between them two for that to happen. But imagine we start here and you're here, right? You think everything is calmed down. Like, I don't even know why he was feeling like this. I think he was really doing too much. To where we get to here, to where you have then from the top rope, Isaiah Stewart just coming over and like causing a big ruckus, bro. Like, I'm very curious as to how we got here. It was really out of nowhere. Now, I've heard reports and everything. Yeah, Steph Curry's going to miss the All-Star game as well, guys. But you have a lot of superstars actually missing the All-Star game. But anyways, it becomes a thing where it's like, you know, watching that, I want to see these guys in the playoff series, man. I love two teams that have real hate and animosity going up against each other in the playoff series. Bulls versus Knicks, right? I mean, Jazz versus Bulls, right? Their team hate each other. They absolutely despise each other going up against each other, man. I would love to see them in the playoff series, especially with the Hornets looking as good as they are, and they might mess around and make a play-in appearance this season if they keep on going at the rate that they are. And of course, the Pistons are going to be probably a top 2 seed, looking like the number 1 seed in the East this year. So I don't know, bro. We just gotta wait and see. But that was a very interesting thing. That was the talk of the night last night, and the Pistons actually did end up winning and snapping the Hornets win streak that they were on. So hey, but yeah, photo of the night. If y'all want to see it one more time, here's a photo of the night. But the next thing I want to talk about is the NBA is probably going to expand. NBA is probably going to expand, and I want to bring up this as well because Mark Cuban is trying to buy back the Dallas Mavericks from Patrick Dumont. Now, it is another owner of the Mavericks, and if I can find her name, hold on. Miriam Adelson. Miriam Adelson is the other. Son-in-law is Patrick Dumont is the other owner for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, everyone's going to look at this and they're going to be like, oh, Mark Cuban is just trying to buy the Mavericks back from them. Like, it's nothing really looking. They're probably mad about the Luka trade. And, yeah. But let me tell you why I think these two things go hand in hand. Sit back with me. I seen some on TikTok. And it was Ben Houselog, can't remember his name, but he's a pretty well-known dude on TikTok and really social media in general. But he made this point. The Adelson family, they are notorious for owning casinos and everything like that. So when the Luka trade went down, everybody was very skeptical of it. Like, why would you trade Luka? You're going to lose so much money. What sense does that make? Now, it was reported that Miss Miriam Adelson was trying to sit up here, and mind you, this is all alleged, all speculation. Was trying to sit up here and put a casino somewhere in Texas, but she wasn't able to do so because like laws and stuff like that. Like, it's kind of hard to do something that's illegal. You feel what I'm saying? Boom. So you trade for Luka. You know you're gonna lose money. You're basically tanking the franchise. Naturally, right? Like, Texas already has a bunch of teams. The Spurs, the Rockets, they have hella teams. It's nothing for them to move Dallas to like Las Vegas or anything like that. Clearly, that's not what happened. Dallas Mavericks are still riding out. They get Cooper Flag, and they're obviously not doing as bad as allegedly she would have hoped. So, why not sell the team at that point? And why not sell it back to Mark Cuban, who's going to take care of the Dallas Mavericks as he has for a long time. Especially when, what Brian do? Especially when the NBA is probably going to expand this summer. I'm mentally preparing myself for them to expand. They're probably going to expand this summer. And Las Vegas is one of the teams. And one thing that you can do in Vegas is put a freaking casino. And who wants to get some casinos? Miss Miriam Adelson and Patrick Dumont right here. Now, this is all just a theory. All just me speculating. But I think it's worth at least some attention, man. I don't really talk conspiracies on here, but I think it's very interesting. Now, the last thing I want to get on here talking about is Jason Tatum is back active. He's practicing with Maine, whatever Maine is, the Celtics G League team. and he just did a 5-on-5 earlier today. I think he needs to stay out for the rest of the season. I think he needs to just sit his ass down. But just be prepared for Jason Tatum to possibly make a return. But that's all I got for NBA Weekly today, man. The late night NBA Weekly. Hope y'all enjoyed it. That's all I got, man. We'll see what happens next week. Post All-Star. I might have a video for that too. Just gotta stay tuned. Until next time, peace.